Is there anything I can do to make your stay here more comfortable? You need me to get rid of that? Is it bothering you? All right. I'm just kidding. Okay, all right. You gonna be, look at that. It doesn't want to come off, does it? All right, stubborn. All right, so again, TP cast. All right, and now we're looking at our poem, Evolution.
I can't see that.
Hang on. Good eye, Spielberg. Okay. All right, so again, we're going to look at the title first, right? What does the word evolution mean to you, Thomas? Change, okay? And when I think of evolution, I think of change, right? Or what does it mean to you, Logan? Adaptation, okay? So change, I guess should put this over here. Change, adaptation, something's evolving means, usually should suggest that it's getting better, right? Adaptation. And then I want to paraphrase this poem. So, of course, in order to paraphrase it, I'm going to have to read it, right? There's a novel concept, right, Wes? Buffalo Bill opens a pawn shop on the reservation right across the border from the liquor store, and he stays open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and the Indians come running in with jewelry, television sets, a VCR, a full-length beaded buckskin outfit. It took Inez Muse 12 years to finish. Whew. That's the first sentence. You know, you just read a poem just like you would a paragraph, right, to the end of the sentence, and there it is. You know, that was like that was just one thought. Buffalo Bill takes everything the Indians have to offer, keeps it all cataloged and filed in a storage room. The Indians pawn their hands, saving the thumbs for last. They pawn their skeletons, falling endlessly from the skin. And when the last Indian has pawned everything but his heart, Buffalo Bill takes that for $20, closes up shop, paints a new sign over the old, calls the venture the Museum of Native American Cultures, charges the Indians $5 a head to enter. All right, so we're still looking at this idea. Can I see this on the camera? Yes? Okay. Dual perspectives, or dueling, how about that? Dueling perspectives of the American dream. Who's Buffalo Bill? Let's basically Buffalo. Who can just put this into a sentence? What's happening here? Buffalo Bill, first he opens a what? Buffalo Bill opens a pawn shop, and what does he do? I'm sorry?
They give him everything.
Okay, he basically gets all the Indian stuff, and when he gets all of their personal items, he ends up taking even their hands, their skeletons and stuff, right? Which seems a little bit far-fetched, but I think we're trying to illustrate a point here, right? So, paraphrase, Buffalo Bill, a pawn. What is a pawn shop?
Goes to a bunch of stuff they can trade.
Takes all the Indians' possessions opens a museum and charges them to see their stuff, right? We're not just talking about stuff, we're talking about not just television sets, VCRs, and a buckskin outfit. It took Inez Muse 12 years to finish, but hands, thumbs, skeletons, skin, right? You know, and then finally, the heart. So, what's the connotation? Why Buffalo Bill? Who was Buffalo Bill anyway?
Wasn't he a cowboy?
Yeah, he was sort of like a Western, like a folk hero, right? So he's sort of an iconic American folk hero, right? So that has a certain connotation to it, you know. Although what he's doing in this, does it strike you as very noble or he's not? Who's evolving in this poem?
Indians.
Are they?
No, his stories.
Buffalo Bill is thriving. Business is booming, right? But for the Native Americans, they've given up all the way down to their heart, right? So, what seems to be the attitude towards Bill? Can you tell that the speaker has feels one way or another about this Buffalo Bill character?
Negative.
He has a negative. It seems like we just said, you know, Buffalo Bill is thriving, but at the expense of the Native Americans, right? Is there a shift in this poem? Like a shift from one kind of from dark to light, or light to dark, or happy to sad, or one type of imagery to the next? Is there a shift from reality to sort of a far-fetched, fictionalized account? Yeah, all right, so that's where our shift is. Like, we start off in reality, and then we kind of get a little bit reality to a more, you know, what would be the word to use here? A more fantastic or fictional account. You know, opening a pawn store across from the reservation, television sets, VCRs, and even the buckskin outfit might be something that somebody might pawn to try to get some money, right? You go to pawn shop. Here, I have this watch. Okay, pawn shop says, I'll loan you 20 bucks for it, and then you come back and you get it at the end of the week, bring me my 20 bucks back plus interest. You know, it would be about 20% interest. But if I don't have that 20 bucks and the 20% interest on top of it, then he keeps my watch after a certain amount of time, and then he puts it in a display case and he sells it, right? That's how pawn stores work, right? They can, you know, help people out in a pinch if you need some money, but what it often ends up happening is you lose your stuff because you weren't able to pay it back with interest, you know, so that does happen. So then we go shift into the fantastic, because now we're talking about pawning hands and hearts and skeletons and stuff, which is obviously a little bit of a sort of a wild, fantastic sort of notion. So when we look at the title again, we know that who is evolving is not the Indians, right? It's Buffalo Bill is evolving. Buffalo Bill is changing and adapting, evolves at natives' expense. And the theme, the two perspectives is that the duality of the American dream is the speaker, you know, suggests that, you know, the idea, the theme of evolution at someone else's expense. How about that? And, you know, unfortunately, we have a history of that in our country, like plantations that were built on the backs of slaves, right? Native lands that were, the natives were run off of their homeland, and so they could, colonize the United States. So, think about even how we have like eminent domain, where the government can come in and say, hey, guess what? We need your property because we're going to build a road through here, and here's the market value. Now you have to go move out. Certain things like that happen. And so I think this poem sort of depicts that. So you can practice with this one. I'm going to give you an opportunity to next week write one of these poems. How does evolution show a duality and perspective on the American dream? Who's evolving, right? Or it could be, how is it showing a duality and perspective on the word evolution, right? Okay, so I'm proud of you. If you haven't submitted you should have a good understanding enough to answer these questions. If you have not submitted them on Google Classroom, please do so ASAP, all right? And stay plugged in next week. Those of you who's gonna be presenting